Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to That Magic Moment. This is episode 2, and today we are going to be talking about Time Spiral and how Time Spiral Remastered is kind of screwing you. And then I also want to cover some other pricing information that I found, go over some of Gavin's comments from the other week in regards to White's color pie. I know we're a little late on this one, but it is something that I wanted to cover myself. And from there, we'll probably just go ahead and I'm going to pull up a magic card that I came up with. This probably isn't going anywhere. I just thought it'd be fun, so I'd throw this at the end. So feel free to quit watching by then, critique it, tell me what you like or don't like about it, or just ignore it entirely. But okay, let's go ahead and get in here. And I'm going to start off with the Time Spiral Remastered part. And the first thing I want you to look at is we have up here on Amazon. This is the actual thing, and I'll expand this a little bit more here for you. But what we have is they're showing the box selling at $208.96. So it's kind of a weird price. Probably supposed to be closer to $200. You can see 8 offers from other locations starting at $204. But still, even at $200, you know, that kind of puts it in line with like Modern Masters. Unfortunately, if you notice right next to it, the pack of 3 booster draft packs is only $15. Now, this is kind of weird because that puts the price at $180 for the same number of packs. So it really kind of disincentivizes you to actually buy the larger box unless you are intending just to get the promo card that comes with it. So if you're buying it on Amazon or one of these websites where you're not going to get that card, I'd recommend avoiding it entirely. And the chances of that promo card necessarily being worth $20 anywhere long term, kind of slim. Chances are that promo card might be worth $5 to $10. So if somehow you get a $20 card out of this, I'll be impressed. But at this point, if you're paying over $200 and you can come in here and get these packs of 3 for $15 a pop, these are shipped and sold from Amazon, you're better off. You know they're not going to be opened. You know that they're just going to be stored there. And really, why get screwed on price unless you're helping your local game store? Now, that I understand. Sometimes their prices sit a little bit higher just because that's what it costs for them to be able to stay in business. So if you're helping your local game store, you don't mind paying the extra cost, whatever. Have at it. Help them out first. But take a look. Make sure you're not overspending, because it seems that if these are the MSRP prices for these things, you're kind of getting screwed if you are trying to buy the big box, and I don't know what the point of that is. And something else that I found is not available online anymore, but if you still want to pick up any of Throne of Eldraine, GameStop, if you go in, they will price match this, and they're listing it at $2 a pack. So that's a significant decrease, $1.97. So if you still want to pick up these cards, you're still missing things from that set, or you just want to have fun cracking packs, maybe go check out your local GameStop and actually see if they have these, because while they won't price match other locations, they will price match their website, and you could get a really good deal on that, because once again, cheaper than buying a box per pack on these. All right, and then something else we have is Game Night. So this is the Game Night 2019. This, not an incredible product in and of itself, but the actual card value in it is quite a bit higher than what it is valued here. And so on Amazon right now, you can pick that up for $35.65. Most places you're looking at anywhere between $45 and $55 for this product. So again, shipped and sold from Amazon in this particular one, and you're going to receive it in the mail. You don't have to go anywhere to get it, so pandemic safe. Go check that out. See if there's anything you want in there. And there is a $30 card in this box alone. So if there's something in this that you want, but you don't want the $30 card, you could sell that card off and make back your money pretty easily and just move on with your day. Enjoy the card that you really did want out of this. Opposition Agent is in this. There's a few other cards that are good in it, but a lot of them sit around between the $2 to $5 range for several of those. So you know, give and take on that. But if you really want that $30 card or several of these cards in here, it's a good way of picking up some of those, especially those exclusives if you just want to tear it apart and put in a commander deck or something. And then one other thing, Jumpstart is available again on Walmart's website from Walmart. Unfortunately, the price is still high. This is nowhere near what it was supposed to be. They're selling it for $30.36. So given that some local game stores, you can get them for $6 a pop per pack, you'll be able to go in and get all of those for $24. So more expensive than that, but in some cases, stores are selling them for $10, $12 a pack. So it's a pretty good deal in that regard if that's something you wanted to play or just take the dice roll on. However, when GameStop gets those back in stock, they have their MSRP listed at $20. So it might be worth keeping an eye over there if they're not coming back to your local game store anytime soon. And then we're going to go over to what Gavin was talking about the other day, where he talked about white in the color pie and the changes that they're making with that. And the big change that's happening there is, one, white is going to be a flash-based color now. So in addition to all about being exiles, all about doing some of the protection stuff, they are going to have that as a main staple for being able to flash cards in. So being able to flash in a creature that has a special ability that protects things that like what we saw in Kaldheim with some of those flash abilities that was good for protecting your board. And then he also talked about card draw and some other mechanics, and he talked about card draw in the regard of kind of being friendly with it. Like, I play this card, you get a card and I get a card, or maybe you get a card and I get 3 cards. And while this is a good thought, I don't think that this is really that incredible. I think this really is just helping other people get card draw, and if they're not playing white, they probably already have good card draw unless they're in mono red, and even then they can wheel and do other things in order to get really good card draw. So I'm a little concerned that they think that they're doing something good here and really not helping. I do like how he talked about the tax and how they wanted to expand on taxing things in the color pie. And if they did something, there was a red card a while back, and what that red card did was you drew a card, and then anyone else could draw a card, and then at random, someone took 5 damage for drawing that card. So you were guaranteed to do 5 to someone, and you could be doing even more if everyone else at the table to decide to do that. So in Commander, you could have 3 opponents taking 5 damage, or you could have one opponent taking like 20 damage. You don't know. It's very random with that. If they had some sort of mechanic like that where they drew that card, but that specific person took damage because that gives it more of the order flavor than the random chaos flavor, I'd be kind of okay with that. That still doesn't seem super powerful. Unfortunately, just from what I've seen of white and where it is right now, especially in this multiplayer existence, it doesn't mesh well in all of that idea. So hopefully they are going to have some really dialed in things. Hopefully we just see, like in the common section, maybe it's just that kind of group hug thing where you draw a card, I draw a card, and then they'll have competitive cards where it's like, okay, kind of like Smothering Tithe or Rhystic Study. Every time someone uses an artifact, you draw a card, or every time someone sacrifices a treasure, you get a card, or just something interesting within that regard. And that could have some really good synergy with something like Smothering Tide, where you sacrifice a treasure that you got from Smothering Tide and you get to convert that into drawing a card. So a 1 mana build up for kind of like Skull Clamp without having to sacrifice the creature. That might be too powerful, but I see a lot of potential in this. Unfortunately, I'm just worried about the way that they are going with that. If you have thoughts and opinions on that, let me know. Let me know what you think on that, because that's one of those ones where I feel like it has the possibility of being good, but the way he talked about it, I feel like they're probably going down the wrong path. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and just show off the card I kind of created. This is, again, just for fun. This is a me thing. I was like, man, I think I could create a pretty good card for white. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there and see what everyone thinks. Give me your opinion, ignore it completely if you want, but I went with what I created as the Wanderer's Intervention. So we all know the Wanderer. She's that card from white, the Planeswalker, that's all about protection, hexproof, those types of abilities. So I said, why not create another card? Because there's very few cards within her realm. And I put it at 1 and white, so 3 mana total, as a legendary enchantment with flash, where all white permanents and spells have Shroud. Prevent all damage to you until the end of turn. If this card was played on an opponent's turn, exile all your permanents until end of turn. Keep upkeep of white, so 2 mana upkeep. This can be played by any player. And I put some flavor text at the bottom just for fun. All seemed lost until the Wanderer took notice. But I thought this would be an interesting mechanic because it gives you the flash ability. It gives special circumstances if you bring it out on someone else's turn. 3 mana isn't too expensive to play it on someone else's turn, but the extra upkeep is. So it comes around back to your turn and all of a sudden it disappears unless either you have another 2 white mana open, and so it's just kind of an instant protection for that turn, or if you do have the extra turn, it can stay out there, or even have an opponent, someone else who has white cards, and they politic with this and gives them the ability and like Commander to say, okay, now all of our white cards are both protected because I played this. Of course, Shroud is a double-edged sword as well because it's preventing you from casting spells on your own things. So you have that ability to have that negate both ways. And if you play this and it stays on the field, someone could pay that upkeep just to make it more difficult for you to continue playing with this. Thus why I feel like the 3 mana for the initial cost is worthwhile. But if someone else is willing to pay that 2 mana, that also means that they don't have that mana for something else if they wanted to play a flash card on their turn in white. So they kind of have to sacrifice in order to keep this on the field with you if they want to protect their things or kind of prevent you from taking advantage of some of your abilities. And this would also help give like Path of Exile protection. So you play this, your Path of Exile isn't all of a sudden being countered, and you're able to play that, get rid of the non-white spell that's on the board, because remember, this protects all white, not just your white cards, and makes things a little bit easier for playing some of those spells and having less worry about those going through. But that's going to be it for today. Remember, click the follow if you haven't already. If you're over on YouTube, click the subscribe button and follow me on Twitter as The Gray Falcon. Until next time, have a good one.